Hi, I'm Lisa Buldo, and you're watching Young and Victorious. Today we're going to hear from a young man, age 26. His name is Joel, and Joel came from a broken family, struggled with drugs, and lived a homosexual lifestyle for almost 7 years. So we're going to hear from Joel and how he came out of that. Joel, welcome to the program. It's so great to have you with us today.
Thank you, Lisa. It's such a blessing to be on here.
Absolutely. So, Joel, you came from a broken family. You never had a father figure to model what manhood should look like. You got involved with drugs and you lived a lifestyle of homosexuality for almost 7 years. Tell us, what was it like for you during that time, and why do you think you went into that lifestyle?
I was always searching for something, searching for a father. I wasn't, I guess, your typical rough and tumble guy. I was very sensitive. I knew what gay was. My uncle, he was a homosexual, and I was around it since I was little. And my uncles on my mom's side would tell me, you better not be gay like your Uncle Ernie. So that was the first identity that they put onto me. Because I was sensitive, they would always tell me, why are you doing that? That's gay. Everything that I would do was gay to them. So from the age of 5, I always thought that I was just different, and I thought that I was gay since I was little. I was always confused all the time, and I was very insecure with myself. Throughout middle school and high school, I was always bashed, being called a faggot, a homo, a queer, and it really brought my self-esteem down as a man, and I always felt helpless, and also because I never had a godly figure in my life. My mother was married 5 times,
Wow.
and each man that she was married with was in and out of jail.
Were they ever abusive to you?
They were physically abusive. I was physically abused at a young age.
I hear a lot of people in that lifestyle say, well, I was just born that way. Did you ever feel like you were just born that way? Or do you feel like it was more because of the confusion and because the labels that were put on you at such a young age?
No, I don't. Didn't believe that I was born that way. It was from all the lies and deception, from being around it. I was around it since I was a young man, because also I was dancing. I would take jazz and ballet, and I was around men that were 10, 15, 20 years older than me. So I was exposed to it at a very young age, and they would always tell me, oh, you're gay, just accept it. We are all created in God's image, and sensitivity is part of God.
That's true. We know that there's so much rejection going on in homes today. Broken families, and then the children feel rejected from one parent or both parents, and there's such a need to be accepted or approved of. Do you think that part of going into that lifestyle was for approval as well?
Yes, I was wanting to feel an affirmation. It's that community is very, very connected, very bonded with each other, and that's why that you see them, the LGBT community, fighting, because they're so connected with each other.
What was the turning point then that caused you to change, and how did you come out of that lifestyle?
Had met this family who they were Christians, and they never forced the gospel down my throat. They always loved me. They would never judge me. They did stand for what they believed. They would always invite me over to their house and for everything, and they cared about me. One day, this was actually in 2008, I went to go have dinner with them, and I actually brought over this guy who I was seeing at the time, and marriage came up after dinner. She told me, God has a purpose for you in life, for both of you, and He doesn't want to see you in this lifestyle. He's called man to be bold and not be silent, and to speak truth into darkness, and the Lord's going to bless you with a wife and many children.
Wow.
So when she spoke that to me, that really spoke to my heart. But at the time, I was so numb that it went through one ear and out the other. But they had planted that seed in me. Well, a year later, I was taking an exam. And during this time, I was so into drugs. I was so broken.
How old were you at the time, Joel?
I was 20.
What exactly was the turning point? How did you actually come out of it?
2.5 years ago, I was so broken. I had hit rock bottom. I would days wanting to die. I would wake up and think, why am I alive? I hate who I am. I hate this lifestyle. a lie. It's all a lie.
Did you ever talk to God during that time? Like, God, help me if you're real, or anything like that?
Yes, I would lay down in bed and ask God. I'm like, God, I don't know if this is right, the lifestyle that I'm living. It didn't make sense to me. I could never fathom myself being 60 years old and with another man. I could never fathom that. Also, 2.5 years ago, I was seeing this guy, and his parents were evangelists, and they were totally against homosexuality. Their son was very rebellious, and his father speaks life into both of us, and he says, the Lord doesn't want you to live this way. The enemy is robbing you of your inheritance, your blessing, and the Lord's going to bless you with a wife and many children.
So that was the third time.
That was the third time, yes. After that, I knew this was it.
You said that you were done with the lifestyle, but did you ask the Lord Jesus to come into your heart and just make your life His, or did the desire go away somehow? How long did it take?
My first 5 months of being saved, I was very confused. There was so much going through my head.
Were you wondering, like, is this real?
Real? Yes, is this real? I mean, am I really gay? I mean, what's going on with me? Well, right when I got saved, I called my friends who I met 6 years ago.
The ones that you felt safe with.
Yes. Well, they thought that I had caught an HIV, that I was, something was wrong with me. They didn't know what was wrong because I would never call them. And I told them, I'm giving my life to the Lord. And they broke down and they said, we have been praying for you for 6 years. Wow. I'm like, wow, like, that's love right there. That
is absolutely love right there.
Yes.
So, Joel, what would you say to the person who might be struggling with the same struggles that you had, and maybe they're confused, or maybe they know someone who maybe even feels like they were born this way, but they're just tired of living this way?
Well, the first thing that I did, and I would advise anybody, is get connected with godly, bold men to speak truth into their lives.
And where would they find these men? In church, ministries?
Church and ministries.
Joel, would you advise when you're in bed by yourself, just saying, Lord Jesus, just come into my heart and take my life and make it what you want it to be? Would you advise doing that maybe even first? And then, I'm just thinking, because then he can direct your steps.
Absolutely. He sees us. He sees us aching. He sees our hurt. And in our times of brokenness, He is there.
Yeah, He's just waiting for us to
say, Lord, I want you. Door.
Yeah, He's waiting for an invitation from us, because He's got an open-ended invitation. He's always waiting. And it doesn't matter what you've done.
Yes. And you know what? I thought I had everything figured out. And we don't. We don't have anything figured out. But it's through Him that we find wisdom and we find answers.
And I think, too, that some people are just ashamed and they feel like they're not good enough to go to God. What would you say to them?
All sin is the same. It's all the same. Sin is sin. And you know what? He loves us. He sees past that. He sees us.
How would you say that your life has been transformed since you've now been walking with Him and you walk in victory now?
I am secure with my sexuality. I know what I'm called to be. And that is a bold man that speaks light into darkness.
That's so good. Well, you've been watching Young and Victorious. You've just heard from Joel, age 26. He's walking a victorious life, and you can do the same. I trust that you've been inspired today, and we will see you next time. God bless you.